Welcome to Excerpts of an interview with Lea Chapin, who is the Mary Magdalene and Christ channeler, intuitive minister. And I am Jan Jorgensen, and we were discussing the presence of Sarah for many women now as a new leader for the divine feminine, the daughter of Christ and Mary Magdalene.
This is the rising of the sacred feminine. Our voices are to be heard as we move through those fears that we're holding on to. Soar, and it's sounding our authentic resonance. She's developed voice release to help women become leaders without fear in their voices. This is a part of this sacred feminine energy. And I don't know who all listened to my interview with Jan that I did on December 23rd. But it's on my YouTube channel. And we talked about Sarah having a mask over her, being hidden. In those days, she had to be hidden. She couldn't be known that she was a daughter of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. So this is really interesting to me when Jan comes back. I want to ask her about this project, SOAR, the sounding the authentic resonance, releasing fear in women's voices. I don't know how she does it. I'm not sure how she was trained, but that was the focus that I wanted to talk about today. And if she was, Jan, I was just sharing, and the next question that I wanted to ask you was about your leadership project program, SOAR. I was just letting people know a bit about how, as we understood, Sarah had been masked and been hidden from the truth of who she was. People weren't able to know who she was, and during that lifetime. But can you tell us a little bit about SOAR and your leadership with the voice release? Are you feeling okay now with your water?
Oh yeah, I'm a little bit better. We've actually had 2 house floods in the last week. So there's been a lot going on. And again, I think we're all being challenged to still keep showing up and do the work. And SOAR is my heartbeat. And I do believe that it was planted 2,000 years ago with the child of Magdalene of Christ to stay underground for 2,000 years as the mystery, the Da Vinci Code mystery, the actual elusive Holy Grail, is the vibration, the promise that was planted and seeded through Sarah. This is a metaphor, possibly true, that now is rising. SOAR means sounding our authentic resonance. And as you said, it is our time to speak the truth. And we haven't always felt that way. We have felt marginalized, invisible, diminished. And the Dalai Lama said it will be the Western woman that lifts us out of the logical, dominating control realm. So about 5 years ago, I said, how do we women get connected, support, as we are becoming more intuitive, eyes to see, clairvoyant, all the different gifts that you have, and yet we're isolated and we think, am I going crazy? So I kept seeing circles upon circles upon circles, and I created templates that help women find their circle, find their tribe. In fact, this week there's 3 women with amazing intuitive gifts, and of course they're isolated in the pandemic, and I'm going to have them come. I have a weekly free meditation called Be the Light, and they're going to see if they have a resonance, and they will most likely be a support team, and right now it's Zoom, so they can decide how often they want to meet, because we are moving together in the etheric, in a higher level as a team, to re-vibration all that is to create a new paradigm, but it's not fully conscious, and we still have our old issues, our old patterns. So with SOAR, I would have every 6 months a beautiful get-together, an event, a program, and I'd invite women, I'd videotape it. It was all so beautiful. And I would encourage women to step up, find their voice, and to get in circles of support. So these circles, I began to see, say I'm in the middle of my circle, I'm holding the maypole. Women that resonate with voice release and finding their voice start resonating and coming in. almost as ribbons on the maypole that I hold.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these same women, they have things that they're strong and have a gift about, and they go get enough confidence, find their voice, and go on Facebook or call friends at their church and say, you know what? I really want to work with the homeless. So they become a maypole and create their circle of resident beings, and everybody gets mastery in that way from that one inspired person creating a circle. So these circles overlying form a beautiful, almost like a hexagonal beehive. It's actually the flower of life pattern. It's the flower of life. I always have a little geometric structure that I show. So I'm holding a node, you're holding a node, and by interviewing or in an in-person event or Zoom, we're cross-pollinating. We're activating even more of the divine feminine frequency field, which, powered by divine light, intention, and speaking through our voices and megaphone, people are just like, thank God, somebody finally is telling the truth. The mom is in the room. You know, we've been missing that mother who everybody's misbehaving now. You know how the mom comes in the room just like that. She doesn't even have to talk. If we're holding the vibration of balance, alignment, connecting regular with spirit, and being in a little support circle, I have a council for myself every Wednesday at 10. Now we're going to do it monthly because we're real connected. In fact, I think as we become connected, we're actually using our own brain geometry as a telephone system. I know when one of my sisters is having an issue and I pick up the phone. So I've established my council, my inner circle for my support. So I encourage people, that's one template, get in a circle. Now, because things are getting so crazy and so divided, almost down the middle, those that want love-based and those that want fear-based, and I'm not going to say any political names or anything, but love is slated by divine order to win on earth. And to move through people's souls and to just this new expansive creative potential through love is what Sarah is a trajectory 2,000 years from a time when people didn't have the consciousness to understand quantum field, law of attraction, all the things Sarah brought forth in the inner realms. It is now awakening through our voices, the hearts and frequency field of the women who, before they were born, promised to come in and serve a higher order and help Earth create a new reality.
Yes.
So the second part of Thor is, as we are falling apart in one part of the world, we need places to go and visit and sleep and have fresh food with like-minded people. So I'm creating a registry of people who have one bedroom or an entire center, so people know they can go there and be honored with, principles of love and resonate with the host. And again, share the mastery and keep expanding the field in women's leadership, in artistic creative work, and also sustainable living. So that's the SOAR model. Now you ask about voice release. Well, it doesn't help if women are out speaking fearfully, because I've showed on computers and voice prints that little part of your old wounded self will keep attracting the same old problem in. It's a vibrational match. Old partners, anything that isn't healed will resonate out in your voice. So you need to release that ouchy old pattern so that when you do speak and start your center, people feel your wholeness and your balance, and you won't be attracting in say your mother always felt that men betrayed her. You actually have that in your record player, in your voice. And until you get right in there and the voice release process, the scientific and spiritual, we go in access and we frequency wise sound it out till you no longer will attract partners, business people, clients that will betray you.
Mm-hmm. I know. I have an aunt, which is, I find this interesting you say that, because when she tells a story, sometimes her little girl voice comes out. The little tiny girl is like, she's 6. Let's see, how old is she now? She's 70, I guess. But so it's like, it's always interesting to listen to her when she does that. It's a little peculiar, but I know that it's just her little inner child woundedness or voice coming out. But it's I've never heard anybody do that before, I don't think, or I don't recall. But as you talk about that, how powerful that is, that memory is still within us, even vibrationally through our voice.
It's a somatic memory, and it's even present. We train with each other. Right now, as I'm speaking, everyone out there, including yourself, the back of your pharynx is tightening up to the same degree that I have anxiety. We actually, and so as children, you're completely a sponge, and you soak up the vibrational field and thoughts of your parents. You do. Mm-hmm. And so that's where you carry them out, and then you find in your storyline that you keep hitting against things that don't work. And it's our personal journey. There's no right or wrong. But right now, in these sacred circles of awakening women and moving forward, especially this year, it's almost as if anything that you haven't addressed and healed on this year's solstice is now magnified, because it's got more light, more awareness, and you have to deal with it. So voice release is a very easy way. And people say, well, what is it, esoteric? No, we just sit there. Spirit showed me. I have a woman think of the problem and tone out of her voice, oh, and I match it almost like a stealth bomber. I match it, not perfect in her wholeness, but it's backwards. But I match it in a way that little 3-year-old that felt that she had to be contracted in anguish, and that's always in her voice, and I match that frequency. And the minute I do that, part of him says, I am safe. I can release that old pattern. I've done voice release where there's 100 people in the room, and I'm working with one woman, vowel sounds, intensity, back and forth with them. And everyone in the room feels it when it pops. And everyone in the room that has that same signature, angry mother, abusive spouse, they're healed at the same time. So that's why this idea of being in circles, we're so much better together doing this. It's all vibration, of course.
I know that you said when the pandemic is over that you wanted to have retreats at your house. And when we were sharing, I don't know if I shared it on your interview or when we were just chatting before, but I saw the vision of you and I working with these women to help empower them. I saw that vision of helping people to move into their own empowerment. So I love it that you do this voice release. This is fabulous.
And it's wonderful to do it outdoors too. Just let it out. We have a old growth forest here, 11 acres, and we live on Puget Sound. So we are going to build a big geodesic dome, and we're going to have decks, and we actually have 2 homes, a guest home, and that will be like the lodge, we call it, for housing and cooking. So we're planning an off-the-grid community, and that's what many of us are called to do, because what is coming down the pike is 2 different belief systems, and where I want to go is self-sufficiency with like-minded people, with freedom, sovereignty, and not so much the highly tech, monitored, chipped, and the whole deal. So right now, I think we've made our choice, so we do the homework. to create these environments. And that's what my partner and I, sometimes I feel we're a little behind. We should have done it 2 years ago, but we're working on these. Yeah.
And I'm going to step back a little bit, but can you just give us, tell us a little bit about a timeline about how you got connected with Sarah? Because I know we're starting talking about Sarah, but how did you get interested in working with Sarah or writing a book about her?
Well, what's interesting, I used to have this image all the time of a robed monk man going to the well. Now I know it was in Galilee because I visited that well. And a beautiful gypsy long-haired woman, an Isis priestess with the snake bracelet. Their eyes met and there was instant love and everything changed. I had that same vision over and over and over again. And then when I saw the Da Vinci Code and I saw Christ and Magdalene were married, the entire movie, I had severe chills. I mean, I thought Mary Magdalene was, the church's version. This is like, 25 years ago. But when I get a body chill, it's like, pay attention. So I started meditating. I started going to France and meeting people who also knew of the Sarah Stewart. I went to St. Marie de la Mer, and there she was, the little dark servant. They call her the servant that came with the three Marys, St. Marie de la Mer. And I looked at her. They even made her short, and they put her in the basement.
They called her Gypsy Sarah.
Yes. Yes, they put the little short statue of Gypsy in. And then I had a Sarah in St. Marie de la Mer, and the Gypsies celebrate every year. It's almost as if they know
who she is.
The patron saint of the orphans. She would take the ones who weren't seen, the ones who weren't loved, and give them music and love. And I had a past life reading, and the woman said, you went through France and you took all the children who were different and their brains were different, and you taught them music, and they were so happy and joyful when you brought them back to the neighborhoods their parents couldn't recognize them. And I said, that's like Sarah. So then I have a great grandmother named Sarah, of course, and every time I had an intuitive reading, she would come through and say, Jan, there's something you hid in a past lifetime, and you promised to bring it back. And I kept saying, that's not me. I'm not intuitive. I'm not this. I'm not that. I would, and then I was in France taking an investigative trip. I'd gotten a divorce. I felt like now I have to find out what is this role, because my other life just did not fit me. I'm going to sing at a concert in a cave in France. And I walk by, because they have the bleachers and music. I was going to sing Ave Maria, and the owner was so happy. I walk by a wall, and there is a limestone washing of absolutely Mary Magdalene with the red hair glowing, with a short, dark-skinned woman with a mask on behind her. I took a picture, and the cave owner said, oh my God, a vision. And even then, I came home. I had a little store with some friends called and I said, what is this? They go, Jim, that is Mary Magdalene and her daughter Sarah. And the message is, you promised to help women take their mask off and speak and be seen and to turn the camera on.
And isn't this interesting? And this year we have to wear a mask.
I think that's a hint of get the mask on the year that everybody's wearing a mask. And about 6 months ago, Spirit said, when are you going to write this book about Sarah? And I go, oh, it's too unusual. What are people going to think? And it said, you now. So it's in proposal form. It's Sarah's voice, the rise of the divine feminine. And it took a lot of resistance to be outed with the potential anger that this could stir up with people of Christ wasn't married, all the old story. So what I've done is I've sugarcoated and said,
Yeah, my book.
so you have helped me, and there are 16 books and videos. There is an opera, La Légende de Serra, even, and I met the woman who was the lead singer in it. So there's enough basis now that I feel I can speak to Sarah, but also I say this is a metaphor. There are so many women spiritually awakening, and we need new voices. And the Dalai Lama said it. And maybe us women getting into our hearts is really a good thing. And if Sarah is kind of, a little story, kind of like where Joan of Arc's, our name is Sarah, it's okay. It's an archetype. Archetypes give us courage and hope and inspiration. And so,
And I was going to say, I think you found me through Rachel Goodwin, who also channels Sarah.
yes.
And so I'm not sure how we connected, but I'm really happy that you're connected to her and that you got connected to me, because, I feel a real kindred spirit with you. And I love hearing your perspective on Sarah. I like I said, I 3 years ago, was it 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago, I finished 24 chapters of Sarah channelings to put in my book, and it's been sitting there now for almost 3 years.
Wow. Well, you know what I see? We need each other. I don't have clairvoyance. The other night, our house was flooding, and I called a friend who can actually remote view and see things. We need each other. I can merge with the person and feel where their old energy was stuck and sound it out. I did that with hospice patients to help them cross over and help them remove fear using my voice and frequencies. So I see you and I as a team. Maybe we'll both have Sarah books, or you'll have your Magdalene and Christ, who actually were married, the greatest love story. And then here's the greatest story ever told, a reawakening of us, that we could hold a Zoom platform and even have in-person events and circles and rituals and talk at bookstores and meet people right where they're at. People are now comfortable with divine messages being channeled from another place. It's not psychic, it's not woo-woo. It's quantum field, 0 point, accessing pure information. And they feel it and they know it. So I thought if you were on a stage together, you could answer questions from Sarah and Christ and Magdalene, and I could sound into the women's voices. I mean, I had no idea. I mean, I was a nurse, and then I studied singing. I sang professionally, San Francisco nightclubs. I have my own sound series. And I studied anthroposophical pure tone singing for 30 years. I'm 66, my voice isn't quite there anymore. And then I taught students at the Sound and Consciousness Institute how to use their voice and frequency as scalpels to go in and to reprogram IBS or to shift anything with their voice. So I think we'd be a great team. I think so. Shifting, releasing fear, and then you bring this comforting message of truth. And yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's why I was delighted to have you on this call today, and which was always synchronistic, because every Monday morning, unless I'm busy, I channel Mary Magdalene Jeshua's message. I've been doing that probably now for 15, 17 years. And it was about the rising of the sacred feminine today, as I was talking about while we were waiting for you. And I saw the feminine energy embodying us. And so that I always find it synchronistic, how amazing, how everything is divinely orchestrated, because I had you on, but I didn't know that I was going to be bringing this message this morning that, that correlates to what we're talking about today, which is a segue into your interview. So it is definitely time, and which you're talking about Sarah and how she was masked. And I thought, that's why I said, oh, it's an interesting, we've been masked this year,
Yeah.
that we've been forced to wear a mask, which for many of us, it's not comfortable. I know it's probably necessary, but for me, in some ways, it feels like our voices are being suppressed.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to share any thoughts on that, or if you don't, that's fine too. But
Well,
that triggers within me. But it's interesting now that again the feminine is coming so strong. It's time for us to no longer be masked and just to speak our truth as this feminine energy.
it is a metaphor, and it is a socially distinct conversation right now, which can have political ramifications as well. But I don't know if you know this, but my last job, I'm a public health nurse, certified public
Uh-huh.
health. So I understand disease processes. And when this first was announced, I said, I must stay home.
Mm-hmm.
I must, because I was seeing different clients. I had painting groups. I had a big center now closed. And so, as a public health nurse, I do understand virulence, and I understand also dark agendas of jumping in and taking advantage and creating fear upon fear when perhaps the media has taken it into some areas of hyperbole when truly at the beginning, if true scientists enabled tracking, which still gave people their privacy, if they wore masks in person, kind of just the basic things, this could have all been handled. But because 50%, I'd say 50% of the population felt that it was a hoax when it truly is a real virus, I think that we've disseminated the virus out, and we have a real public health crisis now that could have been curbed with a more serious scientific approach, but no one's trusting the science because they feel they're in the pocket of big pharma. So right now, so much fear and distrust because the systems have been predatory, unfair, and have not properly cared for the people and disseminated resources and have authorities who are truthful and kind. And that needs to be discreated. And that's why our voices of bringing the potential of new forms and sanity based on logic. So I do believe that people feeling like I have to wear a mask or I can't live, that's nonsense. And now there's a new strain of the virus, and this could continue, and perhaps they're going to tattoo our arms saying that I've had the vaccine. There are so many battling forces for control over human souls right now. I'll just put it that way. That the work that the divine feminine is doing of resourcing and holding the highest vibration where you can only speak truth, to me, people who are connecting and communing with higher vibrations and truth are the only hope to finally mutate our fear-based thinking and our moldy, outdated composting system. So a lot of what I'm working with right now is not being afraid of the dissolution of broken systems, and the mask has many meanings to many people. I also believe that the actual virus was accidentally released, but it was being, created experimentally as potential bioterror weapons, terroristic weapons. And so we can't focus on the dark agendas, of course, because it's a deep pit. You'd be watching conspiracy things all day. I believe simply having enough love and respect for another person's not catching the virus, that you follow basic, simple rules, wear the mask as instructed by sources that you trust, and you always put things through your own truth meter. I don't even trust my own spiritual teacher. I mean, it's 1000%. Why? Because my experience, my truth for me might be a slightly shifted the facet of your perception. So I
Well,
trust you.
I was going to say, it'll be interesting when, we are able to do the work that you've talked about with your voice clearing, because I think that's what I'm feeling, is that as we hold this vibration of pure love within us, as we shift these fears, as we shift all these traumas that we've held in our collective consciousness, that we can be pure, loving vessels of light. That's what Spirit was talking about today, that we were radiating this energy of divine feminine love. And wherever we were, it was like concentric circles that you were talking about. This energy is just spreading and spreading, and people feeling it. And I did a reading for someone yesterday, which was interesting. And this, I don't remember seeing this before, but the lady thought she met this person. She thought she was attracted to this person because she thought, well, maybe it was a romantic connection. And I had channeled the information that this person was an earth angel, and that he was emanating this energy of love as a healing angel. He wasn't conscious he's an earth angel, but in his auric field, this was what he was, radiating. I saw that. And so I told her, well, you're feeling his energy vibration as an earth angel that's very loving, and you've misconstrued it like someone would fall in love with their therapist or a doctor or someone who was kind to them. So as you talk about this concentric energy of moving forward and spreading the energy of the divine feminine, it's going to be, as they say, contagious. So I'm really, really, really excited about being able to help those who are now ready to move through that fear and to clear those frequencies within all of us that we've held through lifetimes and lifetimes of trauma, and to be able to step forward to find our voices again. Because this is the power. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited about 2021, and yeah, and even with 2020, with being all the sadness, I knew that there was a higher purpose for this. I've always held that. I've not held into the vibration of fear. There's a reason for all things. And so it's like labor pains, like you're saying. We're going through the birthing process of becoming new earth beings, that we're in this new frequency. So I'm so excited that you are wanting to do this and have this retreat at your home. I know you're in California. And perhaps 2 years ago, it wasn't time yet. Now people, like you said, are waking up. Everything to me is always in divine order.
Yes. And I just wanted to say, as we're moving forward, this woman questioning this person's place in their life, the more that we connect and we get our own messaging and more clarity, and that's what you and I can teach people, is how to heal themselves, how to get clarity. Because there's still, as we open our hearts and love everyone, we become more vulnerable. And sometimes we don't have the discernment skills, and we can get pulled and pulled. So, I'm supporting a lot of people in learning to set healthy boundaries, because in one way, we have created a trajectory, and I believe people's souls have chosen where they're going. And it's important to be with like-minded, loving people, even if it's your own family member who's choosing more fear-based. It will start scrambling and echoing back into your own life. But they need to ask or want healing. We don't fix anybody anymore. That's not where we're putting our energy. We're available to teach and spread and work with the vibrational field. So I just wanted to say that, because I know a lot of women think, well, I have to love people and give away everything, and they're my brothers. We need discernment. We are living in this world, this environment. And so being clear with boundaries and discernment is really important. We're not in heaven. We're not angels. However, when we're in our circles, when I'm in a circle with women, I call it the undefended space. That circle of gold, you just feel it, and it's otherworldly, but eventually doing it enough with like-minded people, it forms the field of what I call the undefended space. There's nothing to defend. You're free.
Well, we've got a couple more minutes left, just a couple more minutes. I wanted you to share your website and what's next for you, and what you'd like the listening audience to know, how they can contact you.
Okay. Well, one thing is I do Zoom, just like we're talking right now. It's a very powerful connection. Things, people kind of spirit tells them when to call me in the etheric, and or they dream of me, or just pop up, and I'm here. Uh, they can just send me an email at Jan Sarah Sara no H Jorgensen at gmail.com. And I love doing voice release, and it's affordable. It takes about an hour, and usually we get a lot done in one session. Sometimes people with 3 sessions, but I'm doing a lot of that right now. And it kind of, I can talk you down off the limb, get you back in the core of your tree, and work on some really solid old patterns. So I do that over Zoom, and of course, the pandemic, I have more time. What is coming for me is also building my 3-month coaching program, where I work with people's spirituality, their connection, their physical health, and their mission. That's a 3-month program. It's called Be the Light. Again, it's affordable. You get 6 hours of personal time with me. You can go on my website, Sound and Light Healing Arts, and learn about that, or just email me. I want to do more of the same, and I do SOAR events, and I do those through the Facebook page, SOAR Voice of Truth Initiative. Okay, so you can find me there, and I do a free weekly meditation. Wednesday, Be the Light, and we work on a lot of these archetypes, clearing, bringing things in, and that's on my website as well.
Jen, you're phenomenal. I'm so excited that you're on my program, and I'm so happy to have met you. I'm really delighted. I'm really excited about our 2021 and beyond time together, and I'm really grateful for you. So
our circles are overlapping.
Yes, namaste to you. Thank you, my dear. We will chat again. Thank you again for having me interviewing me, a couple of weeks ago. That was really fun. So
thank you.
I send you my blessings, and we will stay in touch. So thanks for, figuring out the technology.
You stuck with it. I was having a little mini meltdown. I had to use my tools. Yeah. Relax, ground, think of your mission.
Yeah.
Your mission, mate.
Yay!
Take care.
All right. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. That was Jan Jorgensen. She is an amazing soul. Her book, Sarah's Voice, The Rise of the Divine Feminine, is in the works, and so delighted to have her. I'm really excited to have met this person. I'm grateful to Rachel Goodwin in Denmark for that connection. Just want to remind you again that I am going to be teaching a masterclass here on Goldilocks Productions starting Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be helping people understand how to tap into the Akashic Records. I will be giving personal mini readings to people about the predominant lifetime that is affecting their lifetime. So I will be teaching those class in 2 segments, January 8th, and then I believe it's again on January 22nd at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can contact Goldilocks Productions. Tiffany, the producer, is handling that registration. But if you do have any questions, you can certainly contact me at leachapin@gmail.com. Or take a look at my website, leachapin.com, to see all the other events that I'm having. Remember, every Monday morning, I channel the mystical teachings of Mary Magdalene. Those go into written transcript on my website and out through Facebook, as well as the audio recording goes onto my YouTube channel, Lee Chapin YouTube. And they can certainly find my books and all my products on my website, leachapin.com. Divine Union, the love story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, again, is available both in paperback, is on Kindle, and in audiobook. You can go to my website, leachapin.com, for that audio recording, as well as my other products. But again, I want everyone to know that it's really important now to begin to trust, as Jan said, your own intuition, to access the energy and the essence of the love that you are. And know that if you did enjoy this program, we do have the availability for you to donate to help support this program through our program here through Goldilocks Productions. I keep forgetting it. It's new, but you're able to donate to keep this show alive. I've been working with Tiffany now for, I think, since about April, and it's been an honor to be with her. So I thank her for this platform. I thank each of you for listening, and I pray that this 2021 is a very powerful energy for you, that you begin to clear and shed all that no longer serves you. If you do need assistance in that, I do individual readings to help people move through those issues through my channeled work with the Ascended Master. So you can certainly go to my website to take a look at what I offer, leachapin.com, or contact me directly at leachapin@gmail.com, or text me at 727-580-3016. I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have about my work, about my classes. This is just a powerful, powerful time. Go forward in the love, go forward in the light, and until we speak again, happy trails. All right, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Become a Goldilocks Productions VIP patron. Receive exclusive